the OnePlus Open 2, one of the most anticipated foldables this year. It's coming soon, and we're going to talk a little bit about more of the specs and details that have come to light and when it's going to be released. So you want to stick around to the very end. Now, I've done a lot of reviews on the OnePlus Open and compared it to other phones, and I'm here to tell you that this thing is still fast, even though it carries a 2-year-old chip in there with the 8 Gen 2 Snapdragon. It's still fast and carries its weight. As a matter of fact, if you look at it here right next to the Samsung S25, this thing is smooth and quick. With that 120 refresh rate and snappiness to their OI, it really moves. I'm excited for the next version. I can imagine having a 2-generation newer chip with the Snapdragon 8 Elite in version 2. So the new phone will be released with Android 15 and Oxygen 15, which we have already on the OnePlus Open, unlike Samsung, who still has not upgraded their last year's phones just to make the S25 series look a little better. But I'm sure they're going to be releasing One UI and Android 15 on last year's model soon. But my point here is OnePlus does not have to hold back the software just to make the new phone look better, because the new phone is going to look so much better on hardware. And let's talk about the hardware. We already mentioned the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip that's going to be inside, but the phone is actually going to be a little larger than what this one is. So if you look at the design here, we can see side by side in this render that it came up with, you can see that the new phone, they've kind of changed the profile of the cameras. Instead of all towards the left side of the circle, they're all towards the top. And if you look closely, it looks like the circle is a little smaller than this model. However, the phone we know is getting a little larger, so I don't know if it's getting smaller on the camera module or if it's just that the phone's getting bigger, so you see the added space along the sides and top of the OnePlus Open 2. Now, as we all know, the OnePlus Open 2 is actually the Oppo Find-In 5, and the 5 shows a lot of these different designs as well. And one of the things that I've noticed is the camera bump is not quite as thick. I think they were able to shave a millimeter or two off of it to make it just a little bit shorter so it doesn't pop out as much. But they're still going for the large rounded camera bump, as we all have grown accustomed to. Hey, I want to take a quick second and thank you for watching this video and tuning in on the OnePlus Open 2. If you would do me a favor, smash that like button down below, because it does help out the channel and allows me to create more content for you. Of course, while you're down there, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more news, reviews, tips, and tricks. Now back to the video. Now, the current OnePlus Open is a 7.8-inch screen across diagonal. The new one is going to be an 8-inch diagonal across. So that's giving it a little more height and width on the overall dimensions. And they're going to reduce the bezel just a little bit more, even though on the current model, there's not a whole lot of bezel there to begin with. Now, something we all need to remember is the OnePlus Open 2 is not the second version. It's actually the 5th version or 4th version, because Oppo skipped number 4, but this is not a new design. Oppo Find-In is on their version 5. This is going to be called the OnePlus Open 2, but it is actually the Oppo Find-In 5, which is their 4th version of this foldable, meaning they're 2 iterations ahead of Pixel and just 2 behind Samsung Z Fold. Now, the big claim on the new OnePlus Open is it's going to be the thinnest phone on the market. It's going to be 4 millimeters open. As you can see here in these different comparisons, and they're comparing it to an iPhone. The iPhones are kind of thick to begin with. I wish they'd have compared it to maybe the OnePlus Open 2. But even so, if we compare this to the iPhone, you can see here in my little video, this one's quite a bit thinner. But if you were to look at it close up, you can see that this is still a little bit thicker than what you see in those images. Hopefully you can make that out in the video. But regardless, the point made is it's going to be very, very thin. And because it's thin, it's also going to be lightweight. It's going to be lighter weight than its predecessor here, which is a smaller phone. And then the new one is going to retain the slider button. Everything's going to be pretty much the same, other than a little bit larger. Now, of course, another big change on the new one is going to be the camera module. It's going to actually have 3 50 megapixel cameras versus this one having 2 48s and a 64 megapixel zoom. Now, are we going to lose anything going from 64 megapixel zoom down to a 50? I don't think so, simply because they're going to use more AI and better rendering processing in the new phone. And with the chip being 2 years newer and designed for that purpose, I think we're going to get much better photos out of the new OnePlus Open 2. And it having the better hardware than Samsung and Pixel, I think overall we may end up seeing not only a new powerhouse, but a new leader in photography. Now this phone has a 4820, I think, milliamp hour battery. I'll put the specs here to be sure on the screen. And the new one's going to have a 5900 milliamp hour battery. Oh my goodness, that is going to be a great powerhouse with a lot of life. Because I can tell you in my experience, the OnePlus Open's battery life is very long. It lasts longer than my Pixel Fold and the Z Fold 6. Of course, it has larger batteries in it and an older chip maybe, so it doesn't drain as quickly as those two. But with the new chip in it, it's going to be even more efficient. So I think we're going to have quite the longevity of battery life on the new OnePlus Open 2. Now, along with that battery life, it's going to come some crazy charging speeds. This thing right now will charge at 67 watts wired, and it does not have wireless charging. That was one of the downfalls on the OnePlus Open. On the OnePlus Open 2, it's going to have 80 watts wired charging. Yes, I said 80, and it's going to have 50 watts wireless charging. I'm still trying to find a 50 watt wireless charger so I can have that when it comes in. I'm sure by then there should be a lot of them out there. If any of you already researched that and found a 50 watt wireless charger, let me know or send me a link down in the comments below. I want to check that out. Now, what's going to be the price on this new phone? Are the new tariffs going to make it go up? That's what I've been getting questions on all the time. I don't really know. I think that they're going to find a way to get us a great deal on this because the US has opened up a really big market for OnePlus, so I don't think they want to lose that. So I believe that we're still going to get great deals. And as a matter of fact, I believe that the price is still going to be lower than the upcoming Samsung Z Fold 7, which I believe the price is going to go up on that because they're going to increase the size and come up with some reason that they need to increase the price. But I'm here to say, if it does get a little more expensive, it's going to be justified paying a little more for the OnePlus Open 2 because they're not just fluffing us with AI, they're actually giving us all new hardware, along with AI, Android 15, and Oxygen 15. So as far as I can think of in recent memory is, that's going to be the most upgraded phone in, I guess, a 2-year cycle that I've ever come across. Of course, Pixel 9 Pro was a big leap from the first Pixel Fold, but they kept some of the same hardware, such as the camera was not a big upgrade, and the phone is not really pro like their regular 9 Pros. And we know that with their lower pixel zoom lens that they put on the Pixel Fold versus the Pixel Pros. OnePlus isn't doing it. They're going all out. Even their flagship phones, like the OnePlus 13, has the flagship cameras, and they're getting the same flagship cameras in the OnePlus Open 2. So yes, I sound excited about it, and I am excited about it. I can't wait for that release. And if I had to guess, I would say the phone, US-wise, is probably going to be somewhere between $15.99 and $17.99. And that's with the 512 megabytes of storage, not like these other phones that only give you 256. With that free upgrade to 512 if you pre-order, this is going to be 512 right out the gate, with a full terabyte model if you choose to go that route. Now, when are these phones going to be released? Well, we already know that the Oppo Find N5 is going to be released the 3rd week of February. So we're talking just another, week and a half, 2 weeks away. The Oppo Find N is coming out, and real shortly after that will come the OnePlus Open. And the rumors are it's going to still come out the first quarter, so they've got March to release the OnePlus Open 2. So I believe it's going to come out in March, which will be here pretty fast, and we've got to get ready to order it. In the meantime, we're going to follow the Oppo Find N5 and see if we can't deliver updated and current news for you. So are you ready for the Oppo Find N2? Let me know down in the comments. Also, is there any feature maybe that I didn't go over? Or is there any feature that I missed that you know is coming out? Like, for example, I forgot about the IR remote blaster. You don't get that in any other phone. Yes, it may be a small thing, but that small thing is really useful. If you want to hear more about the OnePlus Open 2 and how it compares to other phones, check out this video here. Until next time, God bless.